Hello, this is Cheyenne, otherwise known as Quills and Spells, coming back at you with another speed paint. Originally, the speed paint was meant to be like 5 minutes long, as like a cute little announcement video, but as you can probably tell, this is not 5 minutes long, it's actually 15 minutes. I got a little big for my britches. What happened was, originally, I was going to be drawing this very simple piece where my little persona character would be sitting in the middle, sort of pulling at the tape from a cassette, and the rest of the background was just essentially nonsense. It was just a watercolor thing that I threw together in like 5 minutes, and it was fine. It was a really quick drawing, but it was really simple. Even for me, it felt pretty simple, and by extension pretty boring, so I sort of scrapped it. Even though I had all of this like recording material, I threw it out, and I decided to give it another shot, and this is what I came up with. But this is also a far more elaborate piece. I mean, that was the intention. But because it was so elaborate, it ended up well exceeding over 5 minutes. I could have actually shrunk down the video to be 5 minutes, but I find that it doesn't look right when you do that. When you have so much, if you're working with like 2 hours worth of footage and you try to condense it down to 5 minutes, it just looks absolutely ridiculous because everything is flying at you like 100 miles per hour, and it's gross and confusing, and I try not to have my videos go that fast. So this was like the best time I can do, like a fairly reasonable 15 minutes, but I didn't intend it to be even this long, but this is what we got. I'll talk a little bit more about what's going on here in a little bit, but I want to get into the actual news, the whole point of this video, which is to be an announcement. It's nothing dramatic. Basically, this channel has almost always been about drawing in some capacity. I think my oldest video on this channel is an animation I did when I was a junior in high school, and it's either on this channel or on an old dead channel. I don't know. I'll figure that out. But almost everything about this channel is speed paints. I think there might be 1 or 2 video game videos that have since been put on the shelf and are never to be watched ever again. But mostly it's art. And I want to keep up with that. I like being a creative person, and doing speed paints is a lot of fun for me. And yeah, like I want to keep that up, but also I want to go and start branching out a little bit more. So you're going to see a little bit of a content shift. I'm actually going to be posting some music on this channel. Now, don't get too excited. I'm not like a professional, amazing musician secretly, but I do like music. I like the idea of composing music, and I've recently discovered GarageBand. It's not like I just figured out that GarageBand's a thing, but it was more that I was too lazy to get the program, and now that I have a music class where we're just producing music all day, it sort of encouraged me to officially get the program, and I've been messing around in it. And I have a couple of songs that I've made from it. Actually, one of those songs has been quietly playing in the background this entire time. Let's take a quick moment to appreciate my shitty work. Yeah, not bad, right? It's pretty adequate, I would say. So I want to start posting those songs up on this channel. So if I don't post a speed paint 1 week, it will be, music instead. That's how this is going to work. Also, as a cute little fun fact, I also plan on doing some animatics in the future. I've been wanting to do animatics for a really long time. I still haven't really figured out a schedule for it because animatics take a while, but it's something I want to do. So there's a Game Grumps thing I'm planning on doing, and there's also a Tales of Familial Eternity animatic I want to do in the future. And if you don't know what Tales of Familial Eternity is, it's my podcast. I do a podcast. So yeah, I'm gonna try to push that out hopefully within like the next month or so. So be on the lookout for that, but also be on the lookout for these pretty songs that'll happen. Yeah. But that's basically all I have to say on the whole announcements front. So I guess we'll just get back to the speed paint for the rest of this video. I really shouldn't have made it this long, but yeah, you've been patiently watching me do all this nonsense. It's about time that I actually talk about it. So, like I said before, the original concept was just me sitting in the middle of this canvas messing with a mixtape, and I didn't think that was clever enough. So what I decided to do instead was make this image of essentially myself staring back at GarageBand, a recreated GarageBand, and the me that I'm taking a very long time drawing is going to just be the reflection. So that's the whole idea. Yeah, right now I'm working on this shirt design. I have this shirt in real life, but I didn't particularly like that first attempt, so this is the second attempt, and it came out a little bit better. I'm sure that if I had given this more thought, I would have been able to figure out a better way to do this, but it turned out well enough. I think the letter is still a little bit too square-ish. I know that's how I did it. Like, I used the snap tool to make a square, but I wanted to. Ideally, I would have made the edges a little bit rounder by not going the cheapo route. Ah yes, and now we're at the coloring line art stage. I've only been doing this recently. I've been doing this for maybe a few months now, maybe a year. I'm very glad that I saw one of my friends do this and then decided to blatantly steal their art techniques. Because man, this is fun. It gives like a softer quality to the whole thing. I'm sure I've talked about this before. The only problem is that it's a lot of like picking up colors. And because of the way that I have the opacity is at 60. So like a pretty good opacity, and I think I think that's a good opacity to have. The only problem is that with some of the colors, it can be a little bit difficult to tell what's going on, especially if like you're dealing with darker colors or the colors are just too similar. It can be really difficult to soften the line art like that. And now we get to watch me recreate GarageBand. I took a screenshot of it and I sort of drew the sketch over it. A part of me feels like I should have just done the line art by hand instead of using like all these snap tools to sort of create it, because now it has like this very crisp quality that doesn't feel it feels a little different from all the other parts of this, but this is also still a computer program, so it shouldn't feel organic. But I go back and forth on that. Like, maybe it would have been better to do this by hand, but also I probably would have lost my mind. And also, it doesn't necessarily fit in thematically. Although I probably shouldn't have chickened down on drawing like the meters by hand. again. I guess we'll just keep watching this. Yeah, one of the other things I wish I had done, maybe, is do something a little bit more fun on this side of the drawing, because there's a lot going on in the middle and towards the left side, but I didn't really know what to do for the right, because for most circumstances, like, the right is just lists of the little song clips. And I wasn't going to write all of the songs in there, that would take too long, but I also didn't feel like scribbling nonsense instead of writing real words. So it feels like an empty space that I probably could have utilized a little bit better. Over here I'm just sort of recreating the sound bits, and actually this is the exact blueprint of like one of the songs I made. The instruments, as you'll see on the left side, are different than what I actually picked for the real song, but the sort of two really long songs that sort of repeat, sounds that repeat over and over, and then smaller sounds that also repeat, but it's not like one continuous motion, there's a lot of breaks in between. Yeah, I do that in songs a lot. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Like I said, I'm still sort of messing around with all of this. I'm still really new at the whole music biz. Also, this is a really cheap piano sort of keyboard nonsense I'm doing. The actual images for the instruments are rendered to look far better than this, but it would be kind of weird that in this very simple, clean-cut version to have like really intensely detailed instruments. It works for the actual program, but I don't think it would work very well in a recreation of the program. Also, that's a really shitty bass. I can't draw basses. I don't know if you know that. I was also thinking of maybe not including all of these little buttons, because I don't even know what half of them do. And it probably wasn't necessary to draw them out, but I mean, the whole point is to make an art program, so you shouldn't really be cheap on it. This is, by the way, one of the most intricate? I can't say the word right now. But this is one of the more fancy backgrounds I've done. I don't normally like drawing backgrounds, and yet I had to really give it my all for this recreation of a program. I even tried to do all the meters and stuff. It's not like a perfect background, but I had a lot of fun with it, and I guess that's really all that matters. Alright, well, it looks like our time here is almost running out, and I've been progressively running out of things to say, so I'm going to take my leave now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are excited for things to come, and I'll see you around. Bye!